Let's talk about the biggest promise on the DoorDash app. The one you see plastered everywhere. You keep 100% of your tips. DoorDash shouts it from the rooftops. They need customers to believe it, and they absolutely need drivers or dashers to believe it. But what if that promise is built on a lie? What if the whole system is engineered from the ground up to hide what you're really making, to conceal the very tips that they actually promise you? They make you gamble with your time, your gas, your car on every single order you accept. Today, we are pulling back the curtain. This isn't just a rant, it's an investigation. We're exposing the exact technical way DoorDash's controversial payment system actually works. We're going to tear down the infamous $2 base pay and dissect the shell game of hidden tips that leaves thousands of dashers wondering what they really just earned. This is the truth behind your payout. Before we even get to tips, we have to start at the bottom. And at the bottom of nearly every DoorDash order is base pay. Now, on its own support page, DoorDash says that the base pay ranges between $2 to $10. They claim it's calculated based on things like estimated time, distance, and desirability. That sounds reasonable on the surface, doesn't it? It sounds like a logical system set up to pay you fairly for your work. But let me ask any dasher watching this video, how many $10 base pays have you actually seen? Now, how many $2 base pay ones have you seen? The overwhelming reality for most drivers is that the base pay is almost always packed at the bottom of the range. We've all seen it, a 7-mile trip to the middle of nowhere and the base pay is $2. A complicated apartment delivery that eats up an extra 10 minutes of your life, $2. An order that's been sitting on the restaurant counter getting cold because no one will take it. DoorDash is supposed to raise the base pay to make it more desirable, but often it just creeps up by a quarter, if that, at a time, if you're lucky. The company offers zero real transparency into how those factors are actually weighed. It's a black box algorithm that, surprise, surprise, usually spits out the lowest number possible. This isn't a mistake. It's a key part of their business model. That $2 doesn't even cover our commercial insurance. It doesn't cover the wear and tear on our cars. With gas prices today, it's barely covering the cost of really just turning on the key to your car. So why is it so low? Because they can get away with it. They know a steady stream of new drivers who don't know any better will take those orders. But more importantly, that insultingly low base pay serves a much bigger purpose. It makes us, the drivers, completely dependent on customer tips. It creates desperation. And that desperation is the psychological trap that the entire hidden tip system is based on. This is the absolute core of deception. Let me walk you through a real order. The kind that dashers see a dozen times a day. Your phone makes that DoorDash alert, an offer pops up for $7.50 for 6 miles. And the mental math begins. It's a little over $1 a mile. It's definitely not great, but it's not horrible either. It probably meets your minimum, maybe. But here's the $1,000,000 question the app forces you to ask. Is that it? Is the total really $7.50? or is there a hidden tip? You have about 30 seconds to make a decision that could be the difference between making a decent wage or literally losing money on a trip. You roll the dice, you hit accept. You drive to the restaurant, wait for the food, navigate to the customer, complete delivery. Then a few moments later, the final screen appears, and here it is. Your total payout is $22.50. You're like, what? You swipe to see the breakdown, and here it is. Base pay, $2. No peak pay, but the customer tipped $20.50. Now, if you're a platinum, gold, or silver dasher, you might have seen a little symbol to indicate that this is one of those high paying orders. But the tip is still hidden. You didn't know what it was actually going to pay out. The app, for reasons it never bothers to explain, hid $16 from you. It showed you just enough of a tip to make the offer screen barely worth it, turning a fantastic order into a complete gamble. This isn't a glitch. This is a system working exactly as it's designed. For years, dashers have been trying to crack the code. There were theories that any offer over $6.50 for a while might be a hidden or bigger tip, but DoorDash's algorithm is always changing. It's a moving target. The one thing that stays the same is the goal. Stop drivers from cherry picking only the best orders. Looking from DoorDash's point of view, this is all about efficiency. If every driver knew an order had a $20 tip, everyone would be fighting for it. But what about the no tip $2 order going to a confusing apartment building on the other side of town? That order would be sitting there forever. By hiding big tips, DoorDash creates uncertainty. That uncertainty pushes drivers to accept mediocre offers in the hope that a bigger payout might be waiting. It turns independent business owners into gamblers playing slot machines every time we tap that accept button. If you think today's system is bad, you won't believe what they were doing just a few years back. The current model of hiding tips is manipulative, but the old model was so much worse. Between 2017 and 2019, DoorDash used what it called a guaranteed pay model, and this is the practice that ended up costing them millions in court. Here's how it worked. DoorDash would offer a driver, let's say, $10 guaranteed for delivery. And if the customer tipped $0, DoorDash paid the full $10. But if the customer tipped $3, DoorDash would only kick in $7 of its own money. If the customer tipped a generous $8, DoorDash would only put in $2. Let me say that again so it's perfectly clear. The customer tip was being used to pay the driver instead of DoorDash's own money. Crazy. The customer had absolutely no clue. They thought that their tip was the extra thank you to the driver. In reality, it was just saving DoorDash money. The driver's total didn't go up unless the tip was so huge that it went over the entire guarantee. This wasn't just a driver complaint, it was illegal. It led to a massive investigation. In early 2025, DoorDash was forced to pay $16.75 million in settlement for misleading both its customers and its drivers. The settlement forced the company to be more transparent and require tips be passed to the dashers in their entirety. But even though the law forced them to stop that specific practice, the core idea, hiding the real number, is alive and well. That still exists. Hiding tips isn't technically the same as using them to subsidize pay, but it's a page from the same playbook if you think about it. It's just a different tool to achieve the same goal: control the driver's behavior by keeping us in the dark. If you're a Dasher and you're nodding along right now, do me a solid and hit that subscribe button. We're not just complaining here, we're building a community to share this kind of critical info so we can all navigate the system better and have each other's backs. All right, so let's connect the dots here. You have a system that starts with deliberately low $2 base pay. This forces drivers to depend on tips to make real money. Then you have a hidden tip system, which preys on that dependency of making every order a mystery box. It's a 1-2 punch design to get as many drivers as possible to accept as many orders as possible. But it doesn't stop there. DoorDash adds another layer of control with programs like acceptance rates, priority. They create a problem, unpredictable low pay, and then sell you the solution. They tell you that if you just take more orders, even the crappy ones, the low paying ones, your acceptance rate will go up, and maybe, just maybe, you'll get priority over the bigger and better ones. They are incentivizing you to accept the very orders that the hidden tip system was designed to get you to take in the first place. Irony, right? It is a masterclass in psychological manipulation. The consequences in the real world are serious. Drivers can't accurately figure out their real hourly wage. We're left guessing if a trip will cover our rising gas and maintenance costs. We aren't treated like independent contractors running a business. We're treated like cogs in an algorithm pushed around by a system that refuses to give us the one thing that we need to make smart decisions. The truth. So, what is the real truth behind DoorDash payouts? It's a tangled web of rules and code, all designed to give DoorDash maximum control while paying as little as possible to the Dasher. That promise that you keep 100% of your tips is technically true today, but it's a very hollow promise, because what good is keeping 100% of the tips when the system actively hides its true value from you until after your time and gas are already spent? You can't make an informed decision. While the law forced DoorDash to stop using tips to directly pay their share, they've just evolved. The spirit of deception is still there. It didn't go away. They don't take your tips anymore, but they will absolutely hide them in order to control you. Look, the point of this video isn't just to be angry. It's to understand the game. And this is a DoorDash game you don't know you're in. For every Dasher out there, knowledge is the only power that we have. Understanding that $2 base pay is a feature, not a bug, and a hidden tips are a deliberate psychological trick is the first step to getting back some control. It lets us set our own standards, calculates our own risks, and decide for ourselves if the gamble is worth taking, if platinum, gold, or silver is worth achieving. They count on us being in the dark, so we're going to turn the lights on. What is the most ridiculous hidden tip you have ever uncovered? Was it an extra 50 cents? Was it 5 cents? I had that. Or was it a unicorn that paid out $50? Drop your story in the comments below. While you're there, give this video a like. Let's expose all of it together. We talked a lot about hidden tips today. Well, in stacked orders from DoorDash, they use them a lot to get no tip, long distance, low tip orders delivered. If you want to learn more about DoorDash stacked orders and if you should take them or not, you're going to want to check this video out next, and I'll see you over there.